let's talk about NaNoWriMo.
Yes.
All right, so the Traveling Triple C Incorporeal Circus started at NaNoWriMo. Was that your first NaNoWriMo?
It was my second completed NaNoWriMo. I had tried for at least one, probably 2 years before that. I completed a 50,000 word draft of a piece in 2013. And then 2014 I has successfully double nanoed, where I wrote 100,000 words. I don't think I've won NaNoWriMo since. I used up all my good NaNoWriMo energy. I've continued to participate in NaNoWriMo because it is just an artistic and online community that I really love. Just the idea that you get to make creation a celebration. While there is a lot that I love about the fact that writing can be largely solitary, it is great having this community of everyone going like, guess how many words I wrote today? And yeah, they're just having this concentrated joy of creation over the course of a month, with the lead up, and then, right after November, everyone being like, oh God, I'm done. What do I do with this now? So, yeah, NaNoWriMo has been a wonderful thing for me, even though it hasn't as much fit into my patterns that I've developed over the last few years, but I still love hanging out in the forums. I still like participating and in November doing like the big, ooh, it's nano. So
what's your strategy for NaNoWriMo? Is it a certain number of words a day? I mean, I've seen people, they have their calendars and they have this ladder scale where if you start with a lot of words at the beginning and then you narrow it down. What's your nano strategy?
So I like doing the calendars where it's like the even number every day. So yeah, I like having the ones where it is doing the same amount every day. And while, I was saying earlier, I don't think the bring yourself to the page every single day is sustainable in the long term. For NaNoWriMo, it's a fun challenge. Nano rules are totally different than normal writing rules. But yeah, and just, the fact how much that the official stuff around NaNoWriMo and then also just the forums emphasize that the only thing a first draft has to do is exist. And you can't work on and finesse words that you haven't gotten out yet. So really all it is just slap it down on the page, because then you can do something with it. You can edit it, you can rewrite it, you can burn it and start again, but you've gone through the process of getting it out there. And even if you never show it to another soul, you've gotten it out of your head and onto the page. And that is, in my mind, an incredibly important process. And getting to put so much focus on that and trying to get people out of this mindset that, each word has to be lovingly crafted before it deserves to be on the page. It's like, no, just slap down everything and worry about it later.
Do you find that working through NaNoWriMo has helped your writing, or is it just like a fun exercise to do where you're sharing it in the forums and participating in I would say a worldwide event. I wouldn't say even just a national event.
I mean, I published one of my nanos, so hopefully it has been a useful thing. But yeah, no, I feel like I think even if I hadn't published Traveling Triple C Incorporeal Circus, it would have been an important thing for me. And just that sense of this is how you meet a challenge, this is how you break down a big goal, a big deadline, into smaller pieces, and this is how you interact with other writers. I feel like those have all been important skills for me to work on and, to develop over the years that I've grown as a writer.
Do you have anything else that might come out from NaNoWriMo as a novel or a play or anything?
So a lot of this last script what is the title of my script? All Those Stars Are Airplanes. I just completely lost it there for a second. Yeah, most of All Those Stars Are Airplanes were written for Camp NaNoWriMo this past year, which is kind of like I think they do it in like April, July, and I believe there's one in August as well. It's kind of a slightly more freeform NaNoWriMo. So I did a lot of the project for airplanes during this past one. So yeah, even just this isn't as rigid do it 50,000 words in a month, but just being able to be like, okay, I have a community that will inspire me to set these more concrete goals. And I definitely toyed with the idea of doing a spinoff from Traveling Triple C, and I feel like every NaNoWriMo I'm like, ooh, should I work on the spinoff yet? I tried it 1 year, but it was the same month that I moved to San Francisco, which turned out to be a real bad decision to try and write a novel in the same month you're moving. Yeah. That is my advice for writers. Don't write a novel in the same month you're moving.
And you were moving from New York?
So at that point I was moving from Minnesota. I lived back home with my family for about 4 months in between.
I see.
But yeah, so
still a long cross-country move.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not conducive to writing.
Not really, no. So that one has been, that idea has been percolating on the back burner, but hasn't come to light yet. But never know what November will bring.
Which character would you spin off?
So I feel like the main three, Sandrika, Carmen, and Chelsea, by the end of this book, I'm happy with where they're at.
Okay.
So one of the supporting characters, Jamie, who...
Yes.
Yeah, without doing too many spoilers.
No spoilers.
She's a companion who travels with the trio for a good leg of their journey, and develops really close friendships with this group as a whole, and then leaves them at in a place where it is clearly the beginning of her own story. So I feel like I could leave it where it's at, and leave sort of the reader in the same position that the trio is after they part ways, just kind of okay, we know this is what she's trying to do, and we hope it goes well for her. So I feel like it is satisfying where it's at. I hope it's satisfying where it's at. But also if I wanted to dive back into this world,
right,
that would be my entry point.
Right. Though I agree with you on both counts. Like, when she departed from the three, it made sense. We knew what she was doing, even though we don't know what happens with her journey. So it would be a good place to come back into the world and see what's happened.
Yeah, so, no promises yet, but it's one I've definitely been toying with.
Are you going to do NaNoWriMo this year?
I'm going to try. Like I said, I literally don't think I've won NaNoWriMo since 2014, but I'm going to try. I try every year, whether it's half-assed or not, but yeah, it's something I love. I've been doing for so long, and I love jumping in.
Are you a plotter or a pantser? Like
Ooh, nano terminology.
I know.
For Nano in particular, I'm probably a plotter, just because I have to go. It's such a condensed over the course of a month, so I have to go in with some sort of plan. But definitely, as I said before, with the commissions and the pitches, leaving room to be like, okay, I want to get to this, and this, but a bunch of stuff's going to happen in between here, and I'll figure out the stuff when I get there. So yeah, I think I'm what in the NaNoWriMo forums gets called a plantser a lot.
I have never heard of a plantser before.
Yep.
But it's a great term.